Thanks for tuning in to my brand new Minecraft series. After a long hiatus, I'm ready to jump into more blocky action with 101 new ideas. Thanks for rocking with me all year long and enjoy the series. I was right. Okay, cool. So that portal links all the way right to down here. So I don't need to go all throughout this entire area, right? It can just be kind of a direct path toward that way. So here's what I can do. I can use netherrack or nether brick to make a whole long thing all through this way and try to make this as sturdy as possible. The only thing that could possibly get in the way and totally mess everything up is if a ghast destroys part of the bridge. Which, am I willing to risk that? No. But I think that's just a thing that's going to happen over time. You know, I'm going to take a ton of nether brick from here and really make just a direct path, point A to point B. What I should do is tear apart this entire thing here, because you can almost, like, it's just beyond the bridge that way. You see where I dug out kind of way in the distance there? So basically, I'm trying to make this, it's going to be a pathway, I want to say 4 wide, right? I want it to be as wide as this, although rails are in, you know, they're 1 wide, not 2, but whatever. So if in theory, let's say I do all this, right? This is going to be a long project. So this might also be a word from future Brian. We'll see. But it should, in theory, go just like this, all the way through down that way, and have it be a whole thing. So I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do that, I guess, because why not? I'm gonna tear apart a lot of this stuff here, and I'm gonna make a direct path, point A to point B, as much as I can. And you're gonna hear from a few words from your boy, BricksOBrian. You ready? Here we go. So, I have you with me here for a little while I am in the future, or rather in the past, making the nether, like, bridge, I guess. I have a haircut, so lots of things are different, lots of things are changing around here. The whole order of a lot of these videos being recorded can be very peculiar, but, you know, that kind of happens, you know? Sometimes you just don't have things to say in the moment. You gotta figure it out. You gotta improvise. You gotta do the whole thing. It's basically a giant comedy act that isn't really that funny, trying to figure out what's going on. So, yeah, this bridge ends up being quite lengthy, and quite a bit of resources go into it. You do see me grab legitimately all of the nether brick that's going to be used for the whole area here, and that's essentially what I want to talk about a little bit more in depth, like here. So I've mentioned before that I have used creative mode to expedite the process on a lot of the things that happen in this world, and that is still true. That will happen a few times from here on out, and that's because I want to save time, and I mentioned that with the Christmas tree, and I just thought of a really good analogy a couple of days ago as I've been recording this series for about 2 or 3 months now. It's basically the equivalent of when you're watching a cooking show, and instead of waiting 20 minutes for that one thing they just put into the oven to be ready, it's done instantaneously. That's to save time, because you get the idea. It just sits there, it cooks for a little while, you're waiting around. I guess more so in that sense, it makes more sense because you're really just waiting there. You're waiting there for the thing to happen, and I don't show what happens off camera there. But everything I do is just resources that I already have a plethora of that would take me a long time to get otherwise. So I feel like every once in a while I have to remind all of you, kind of justify why I'm, you know, using creative mode, because it kind of feels weird me trying to do that, but it also saves me a lot of time. So there you go. I am holding, by the way, in case you're like, Brian, what is this beige egg you're holding? It is lip balm, because during the winter time I get a split lip right here, which basically means that there's a giant crack in my lips from having dry lips. So that didn't really have a transition or any purpose for me telling you that, other than just kind of signifying to you what that was. So that's cool. In terms of things that are happening that are not pertaining to this video here, speaking of red, The color red being in the nether. Oh, well, there's a couple of things. So one of the things is that the nether is getting a massive update relatively soon. The next big update for Minecraft 1.16 is going to involve completely renovating the nether in many capacities. So, two notable things they're going to be adding are new structures slash a biome sort of a deal. So imagine like a teal type of color. That is the other supplementary color to the nether now. So it's not just red everywhere as a base. There's going to be some blue in there to make it a bit more interesting, more lively, more things to discover. And the thing that I didn't know about until very recently, because that's been kind of public information for a while, there's going to be a new set of ingot that you can use to equip yourself with in the game. So for the longest time, there has been to make tools out of things: wood, stone, iron, gold, and diamond. That is all that's ever been in Minecraft forever. Really since the beginning of the game. Now they're adding a new form of ingot that you can make tools and armor out of. I believe it's called netherite, which the really spicy part about all of that is that it's more durable, more powerful than diamond. So it's actually usable. It's not a situation where they're adding like something like an in-between step. The way that you go and find it, though, is very interesting, and I'm sure I'll explain all this again when the update actually comes out. I don't know when it's coming out. The preview for it is out now, but I'm not going to be covering it until it's actually available and out. It's available in the lava in the nether. So you have to go underneath the lava to find the block, and then you mine it up. So it's not just like iron where you mine it up and then boom, there you go, melt it, there's an ingot. You have to actually get 4 of whatever material that is and then convert that into an ingot. So you're really working with a lot of stuff there, and it takes up a lot of diamond. There's a car horn going off outside. You're using a lot of resources just to get this thing here. And apparently you can take your enchantments from your diamond stuff and put that right into the netherite stuff, and you'll be all set. So right now, as it stands, the texture for it is like this all black looking armor. So it looks pretty cool. It looks very menacing. And that's kind of been the thing with the nether for a long time. There hasn't really been a lot to do. I feel like in Minecraft they've gone from adding to the overworld, then adding a lot to the end, but the nether has kind of stayed the same really forever. And as I've said multiple times throughout my playthrough, there's not really a reason to be in the nether for much more than teleportation and, you get some blaze powder. That's pretty much it. You don't really need gas tiers for much of anything that I consider important. There's not much to do in there, but now they're finally changing that, because now you're going to want to spend a ton of time in the nether. That way you can get that netherite. So what'll probably end up happening is I'll go into a separate new world, show you what that looks like so we can actually figure out what we're looking for, then actually go and find that in my actual world, or expedite the process by me fast forwarding. I'm going to look for it legitimately. I just don't know how often it's going to appear and how long it's going to take me. So we'll see how that goes. That should be coming out probably by summertime, if I had to guess. They just did a preview for it in the snapshot, which is for the Java version of the game. So in case you don't know, there's kind of 2 separate editions of Minecraft, the Bedrock and the Java edition. If you're playing on the Switch, the PlayStation 4, the Xbox, PC, Windows 10 edition, that is the Bedrock edition. That means that you can cross-platform play with everyone, and it works properly. The Java version is a different version of Minecraft that works only on PC, that you can actually use to modify the game. You can add different mobs in there. You can do a whole bunch of crazy stuff. And I don't have that version. I just have the Bedrock version. They release previews, a snapshot of what's to come, so they call it a snapshot. They release those for the Java edition, and then the Bedrock edition gets the official release when it's ready to go. So does Java. So it's kind of like a preview of what's to come. So there's already people out there doing videos and whatnot, but I don't typically do the snapshot covering thing. I just wait for it to be in the game, fully implemented. That way I can dive in and show you everything that there is to be with the game itself. So that's the new thing coming out. And the way that it works, kind of like how it works in every new Minecraft update, you have to go to a new section of the Nether in order to like render in what is new, because it doesn't automatically generate the entirety of the world once you enter the Nether. It's only that one section that you're kind of in. So let's say, you know, we walk to some place we've never walked before in the Nether, which is going to be tough because the Nether is small and we've been to a lot of places already. But if you go to a section that you haven't walked anywhere ever before, then that's going to have more of a likelihood to get you that new Nether biome. In turn, also going to get you more of an opportunity to get the netherite. So you can imagine if somebody has been in the same world since like 2012, like 8 years worth of Minecraft, having to move locations and find the new stuff every single time. You know, how many times have they had to start a new home or travel even further for every new update? Like, all right, you got to go really far to find the woodland mansion, and then the bees, and then this, and then that. So it's a whole big thing, but I'm excited for it. Whenever it does come out, I don't really know. You know, I just kind of take these things as they come and hope for the best. So I actually had to stop building a couple of times because I hear him. He's in the wall, fiddling with some wires in the wall. The mouse is still present. I thought he was gone. Oh, he back. The Ivy League mouse. The mouse that graduated from Harvard, PhD at Wentworth. Still here. Still kicking it. So as far as I know, this should lead to the end portal, kind of, where we're at before, and then the other portal from before should lead back to the house and not have any interference with anything everywhere, right? So now this way is obsolete. So let's go back in through here just to see where we end up. I obviously don't have enough rails, but that's something that will solve itself eventually, okay? So the only issue is that we have to immediately turn around when we enter this portal, which is, you know, not ideal, but whatever. You know, that's fine. So actually, well, yeah, cool. So when we enter in through here, we can just walk right through. So I obviously, as you can see, added, barriers across the sides here just in case something ends up messing up here. I'm not going to make it too high, just one high, and then I built a ton of stairs here. That way, because I obviously don't have enough rails right now, I can still walk up it, and it's a fairly short walk. So ideally, it's going to be a minecart situation all the way through. But now it's kind of inspired me over here. Now that this whole thing is cleared out, this entire top area is clear. It's kind of low-key inspired me to make a nether castle for us, just for the kicks, just for the lulz, just for the memes, right? So eventually, I'll level all this off here, and then maybe we'll make a castle, like a base down here. I don't know. I don't think it wouldn't have any function for us, really, but just for the sake of, having a little base down here. So, the moment of truth is here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if this actually leads back to the house. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. It does. Wow. Very nice. Very nice. Where'd the pickaxe go? Is it back? I think it's in the nether. Hold on. I think the pickaxe went to the nether because it went through the portal. And there we go. Okay, cool. So now when we head out of here, it's very wonky and confusing. But yeah, cool. So, ideally for our nether fortress that we will do, not now, but eventually, it will basically be like this is a garage situation here, and then the house will be over here. We can't place any beds or anything like that. We can't sleep in the nether, but I don't think we can, actually. So that'll be a thing that I do eventually. But for now, yes, here we go. There's our house, and now we are back where civilization is. And I will make a pathway eventually from point A to point B. But there we go. So that's building a construction path, a minecart path in Minecraft. I got to get more, though, and I got to put all this stuff away, so I'm going to do that. But I want to thank you guys and girls for listening, watching, tuning in, and meowing it out with me as always. My name has been Brian Saviano, a.k.a. about to just fix this patch of dirt right here to make it look more flush, O'Brien. And I will see you again soon for more Minecraft action in the very near future, because there's a lot of stuff I want to do involving the animals. We have neglected the animals for a little while now, and I want to make... Okay, I want to make pens for all those animals and do that. So, yeah, I'll talk to you later.